It's my 1-year anniversary on Booktube! Woohoo! Thanks for watching, guys. I am so excited to say that it is my 1-year anniversary of posting videos on Booktube. It's been a very humbling and exciting year, and I have learned a lot along the way. So while I'm not a Booktube expert by any means, at all, I'm going to share with you 3 things I've learned about booktubing so far. Number 1, I was very excited to see just how fun it is. So here's kind of my story of going into Booktube. I started a website, readremark.com, where I basically just blog about books. I review them, I make little infographics, I talk about why I love some, I discuss short stories. And I always knew that I wanted to have a video component to that. My day job that I work full-time in is in marketing, and so any of you in the marketing world know full well that video is where it's at right now. And of course all the other good stuff as well, but you really need to be including video, and so I knew that I had to include a video component on my website. I mean, even just looking at the statistics in my company of emails sent that have the word video in the title, the click-through rate on those is so phenomenally higher than other emails. I'm digressing. The point is, I knew I needed to include video. So what I hadn't expected, first of all, was how terrifying it would be for me. I'm naturally kind of an introvert, and so putting myself out there into the world was terrifying, so scary. I wasn't expecting the fun Booktube community. So I knew that I would be talking about books and putting stuff out there. What I didn't expect was that the community would give so much back. Just in the interactions we've had in the comments, or in seeing the different views on people's, other people's Booktube videos, getting the, just the full range of interaction that we have on this community has been really surprising and fun and gratifying and totally unexpected. I went into it with a marketing mindset, and now a year later, I'm not even thinking about that at all. I'm just thinking about the community that is built around Booktube and how I'm so excited and happy to be part of it. All right, another thing I learned in this past year is that pimping ain't easy. Ooh, it's hard out there for a pimp. So what I mean by that is that if you build it, they won't necessarily come. You can tell I spent a lot of time researching this before I jumped into it. I watched other booktubers. I looked at some of the different things that they do and decided in my mind what I do and don't want to do. For example, I don't really do many book hauls because I get most of my books through the library or digitally, one at a time. I don't really do TBRs because I feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on myself because my list is already like 10 miles high and I don't want to add more books that I'm expected to keep up with. But I knew that I did want to do stuff like individual book reviews and wrap-ups, and also just watch other people's TBRs and book hauls and unboxings and stuff like that, because even if I'm not doing it, it's fun to watch other people. Okay, I'm digressing again. The point is, I did my research. I knew what kind of videos are out there, and I saw the numbers on the people watching those videos, and they were so encouraging. I saw that there's definitely an audience out there for Booktube. What I didn't factor in was that a lot of those successful numbers were for people who had been doing it for years. Several years. You can't just build a Booktube channel and then expect tomorrow to have a following of like 1,000 people. It just doesn't happen that way. And then I also found through being part of the community that it's much, much larger than I initially thought. If you just go into the search bar of YouTube and type in Booktube, you'll see the few high-ranking Booktubers, but as you watch more and more videos and get deeper and deeper into the Booktube world, the underground, you see that the community is huge. There are a lot of people who I think they give up hope and they just put out their Booktube newbie video, maybe a few others, and then stop because it's so discouraging. And that makes my heart hurt for them because I get it. I get it. It was really hard for maybe 2 or 3 months. I would put out a video and then be lucky if 10 people watched it. I just, it's like if a tree falls in a forest and no one's around, do they hear it? And if I put out a Booktube video and nobody watches, then did it actually happen? Yes, I put in the work and I can tell you, yes, it actually happened. But it was very discouraging for a very long time. And so through the year, I've kind of adjusted my expectations. I don't expect to have this huge, huge audience. What I do have though, and what I have built, I am so incredibly grateful for. Grateful, thankful, enriched. Every one of my subscribers, every person who comments on a video, just every piece of interaction I get is just so wonderfully wonderful. So pimping ain't easy, but boy is the payoff good. It's awesome. Number 3, words are hard. So in my Booktube newbie tag, many moons ago, I talked about how I found out that my version of is alright and so, and that has not diminished over the months. Unfortunately, I still say those words so many times. See, I just did. For every alright or so that you see in one of my videos, there are at least 1 or 2 more that I have edited out painfully, because every time I see it, I'm like, no, you did it again. Another aspect of that is just language. So in my real life, I cuss a lot. A lot. I cuss a lot. And so I saw in my vast research that there's a good chunk of the Booktube community that skews younger. Some of them are even high schoolers. And so I wanted to make sure that while I'm not making my videos childish, not that they're children, but I'm not making my videos childish, I do want to make sure that I am accessible to that group. I don't want to cut anyone off by virtue of my potty mouth. I cuss so much in my day-to-day life that I don't even realize that I've dropped the F-bomb, for example, until I hear people giggling nervously around me. To try and catch myself on video, I have to make a real effort that I don't accidentally slip. It's not gargantuan. I have enough words in my brain to be able to speak without always dropping a cuss word, but it is an effort. So I hope you appreciate the effort for me to not say some of my favorite words like don't worry, I'm going to edit that out. I'm sure I have many more lessons ahead of me, and I look forward to making many more videos, because another bonus item that I hadn't counted on was that the content would always be there. I thought I'd go through my original mental list of ideas for videos and then the well would run dry and I would be continually grasping for topics. But really, with all the great books coming out, with all the great books that I get to read, and with all the great discussions that other booktubers are having, there's no shortage of ideas. So where was I going with that thought? Crap, I don't remember. So anyway, on to some of the bloopers. Stop. Yeah, it's okay, I'll cut that out. What was I going to say next? It's like a blue version of the Seinfeld puffy shirt. I don't know. Quit making noise!
That's why I said
I'm trying to record! Well, how about you just be very still and watch the master at work? Next up was The Impossible Lives of Greta Weld by Andrew Sean Greer. Sean Andrew Greer. Greer Andrew, one of those is his name. Ugh. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna edit that part out. That was bad. I'm doing good though, right? What else was I gonna say? Okay. Oh, that's a tough one. Okay. The rest of us who enjoy the full mix of book consummation, book consuming. Oh, I messed that word up. I would be first in line to want to read that. Not literally. That's cheesy, but whatever.
Go check out the videos! Don't show this, cut it off. Bloopers!